sound. Rolling. Roll camera. Rolling. Slate. A Body in Production. Scene 1, take 1. And now it's time for an idea that has been years in the making. For episode 51 and for as many episodes, starting here with episode 51, episode. And now it's time, and now it's time for starting here with episode 51 and going until we cover the subject, and going, how do I want to say that? And now it's time for an episode, and now it's time, okay. And now it's time for an idea that has been years in the making. And now it's time for an idea that has been on my mind for years. Starting here at episode 51 and going for as many episodes as it takes, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at how an episode of A Body in Progress is produced. This is A Body in Production. That one works. In 2012, in the second year of my first major YouTube channel and a few months into working out with Mark Prickett as my personal trainer, Mark thought it would be amusing if I created a video about how I created one of my fitness videos. Now that this official series is up and running, we are 3 years and 50 episodes in, I think now would be a good time to take a look at what goes into producing one of these videos. However, Mark may regret what he has unleashed here because I am, at heart, a filmmaker. That is my greatest life passion, and I can talk about that for hours, as indeed I already have. Everything you are watching right now, I have already recorded once before. And then I put it on my computer and I looked at how much I had recorded, and it was 3.5 hours. So this is take 2, really, that you're watching. And I am going to see if I can keep it explanatory but concise. And we'll see what comes out of that. I already know it won't be just one episode. I did not expect it to be one episode. Because I have decided that I am just going to fully explain this thing. But in order to keep it relevant to the topic that you ultimately came here for, my fitness and men's fitness in general, this behind the scenes is going to be about what if I created a video about April 2021 through December 2021. If I were to create one episode of my workout journal covering the 9 months of 2021 that I haven't covered yet, what would go into that? My primary activity in creating this video series in general is the workouts, going to the gym and exercising. And so on most nights when I head to the gym, I also pack up the video camera and a tripod and drag them along with me. Now, when I say a video camera, I do not mean the modern cell phone camera. I see guys at the gym using them, creating their own little videos. I was in my developmental years as a filmmaker in the 80s, and back then the home video camera came out, and what was affordable for the average family was these VHS cameras. They were bricks that you had to set on your shoulder and then hold out here, and you got a major arm workout just trying to record 5 minutes of the family vacation. That's what I got comfortable with. I like the mass. I like the stability that the mass provides. Even with modern cell phones and their internal stabilizers, I am more comfortable having an object that I actually can rest on me as opposed to try to hold out here and get the shot I want. That's what I'm practiced on. That's what I grew up on. And so that's what I have. I can't show it to you right now because it's doing the recording, but I'll get you a photo of the JVC high definition camera that I was able to acquire in 2018. But that's what I take with me to the gym. Now, I have a pretty cushy arrangement at the gym, the Redmond Athletic Club. It's a gym I've been going to since 2010 or before that. But when I started my early YouTube channels, I got permission from the gym owner, Scott at the time, to go ahead and bring it and record my workouts. He actually seemed kind of enthused about the idea. And then I got that permission renewed when Brannigan Dixon bought the gym. Both of them, had the same basic requirement, which I totally understand and I would have adhered to even if neither of them had said it out loud, and that is to keep other people out of it. That is one of the reasons why I go at night. There are fewer people there, and it tends to be mostly guys who don't care if they are caught on video, at least off in the background. Obviously, if I'm going to focus on one of them, I will talk to them in advance and get their permission. But I have not yet had any objections from the night crowd at the gym to my coming there with this massive camera. The size and industrial strength of the tripod is another reason I go late at night, because when it's busy, in the afternoon or at the dinner hour when people get off work and make it a habit to go straight to the gym, that tripod could be a trip hazard. And I don't want to receive any complaints because I like this opportunity that I have. Hopefully that this nice situation continues. If he ever says I can't bring the camera, I'm not sure how this video series will continue. Filming the workouts these days is pretty easy. It was a little trickier before I acquired my tripod, but I got pretty good at setting the camera on some kind of counter or other piece of gym equipment and finding something to shove under the front end, like my wallet, so it would tip up just right and get the angle I wanted. But that took time. That took a lot more time than it takes now. So I go in, I figure out whatever workout I'm doing. If it's, for example, the bench press, then I find an empty bench and I set up the camera and I aim it at the bench. Creating some visual variety can be tricky, especially without a cameraman. So I do try to move the camera around, get a long shot, get a close-up, get an overhead, whatever I can. Having a cameraman would also save time, because as it is right now, I have to move the camera, adjust it on the tripod, make sure it's getting the area that I want. Once in a very rare while, somebody will be around who can run the camera for me. Daniel Leifer has been a good resource. He's a friend of mine, really unrelated to fitness or film, but he has a very good understanding of shooting stuff. He's got some training in photography, so he understands framing things up. I don't have to tell him, this is what I want, this is what I want. I just say, I'm going to work out over here, and he says, okay, and he gets the shot. We've done some other projects together. He was my cameraman for the dunk tank at Central Oregon Community College back when I got my body fat tested there. He's also the only person I would trust to get this shot because we once had a conversation. He is a Marine. Yeah, we had a conversation one day about life in boot camp, and he said, by the time you're done, you have no barriers. Boot camp is designed to remove all your barriers. You have seen all of your fellow Marines. You have seen all of your fellow Marines in the showers, in some of the training that they do. You've seen it all. And so I knew that when I wanted this shot, just for comical effect, he was the person to trust with the camera. that he would not go, no. So anyway, there's that. That's a side note. That's trivia. So now, in the spirit of what I mentioned at the beginning, keeping this focused on fitness, let's go ahead and look at some of the shots that I got from April through December. This then would be my typical workout montage, where I just gather a bunch of clips and I put them together somewhere between 1 to 2 minutes, just to kind of give you a hint, an overview of what I've been doing. I want the video series to be about more than just my working out. I wanted that even before Mark Prickett once said to me he didn't like watching YouTube videos where the guy just worked out. And so that's why anytime I can, I also get anything related to the larger pursuit of fitness. So anytime I've gotten my body measurements, I drag the camera along. When I've gotten my body fat tested, whether that's calipers or the dunk tank or the bod pod, which I haven't done for this series, but anytime I could bring the camera along to anything related to fitness, I would do so. I've been to some events. I went to a powerlifting event in 2020. First time I've ever been to one of those, just to see what it was like, because the manager of that particular event has been trying to talk me into entering one since I've taken up powerlifting in 2017. And then I've been to a couple of bodybuilding events, and I've recorded some footage there as well. And so if it relates, I want to get it. And I want to get it for variety as well as for information. And then whenever possible, I enjoy having guests on the series. Sometimes they are what I would call a random guest, where I simply join them for a workout. I say, what are you doing? What do you do for workouts in general? Let me follow along with one of those. That would include people like Torrance Cooper and Parker Agee and Joseph Earl. Then sometimes I have a specific guest on because I know I want to talk about a certain topic, and I know that person has knowledge in that area. And that would include Dr. Valenti when I talked about muscle, what it does, how it works, and then Bradley Barrett when I wanted a simple overview of nutrition. After recording the workout footage or the interview footage or the special event footage, whatever it is, I have to get it onto my computer. It's recorded on these cute little chips. I guess they're actually called cards, but they look kind of like a computer chip, and I think that's why I habitually call them chips. They're also small, like chips. But anyway, I have to get that onto my computer. Now, my JVC was manufactured at a time when my Mac was manufactured to reject certain cameras. It just wouldn't work with certain cameras. So what I have to do is take the card, not the chip, the card from the camera over to my wife's laptop, which is a PC-based computer, load the footage onto her laptop. Then I have to get another one, which is formatted differently than the one for my camera, and move it from her laptop to my computer. It's a little bit laborious, but it is still faster than the days when I was shooting on mini DV tape. Because when you load from tape to computer, you have to load in real time. In other words, if I have an hour of footage, it will take an hour to get it on my computer. So despite my particular hurdles that I have to jump through, which most people don't have to jump through, it's still faster than the good old days. Once it's on the computer, in order to save space, the first thing I do is I go through and I throw out the worthless parts of the footage. For example, if I performed an exercise and then I wandered off to the water fountain without stopping the camera, there's a lot of dead air. There's just this shot of the gym where I was, and now you're looking at a wall or the floor or something like that. Well, I don't need that, and that would just take up space on my drives, so I throw that out. I throw out any angles that were poorly cropped. Maybe I thought I had a good shot of what I wanted, and then when I look at the footage later, I go, oh, I didn't have the camera tilted in the right way. It's so bad I can't use it. I've cut off my head, or the part of the body I actually wanted to show you doing the workout. I don't want that, and so I get rid of that as well. Sometimes there are angles that are just, they're weird. The squat, for example, is an exercise where I have just never really found, I've never found the good angle for that. If I shoot it from behind, you can't see the profile, so you can't see how your back should look and your legs should look and things like that. If the camera is too low from behind, you get a very awkward close-up of my glutes. Plus, it's a vertical activity. So we're dealing with a horizontal medium here in film, but the squats go up and down. So if I'm in too close, my head, I kind of bob in and out of shot, and you can't see the leg muscles actually doing the work. But if I just focus on the leg muscles, it looks weird. So it's, there are times, And there are machines throughout the gym where there's just no good angle. There isn't. In terms of filming it, you will make your audience uncomfortable no matter where you put the camera. So, some of those exercises I just give in and say, you know what? I'm demonstrating the exercise no matter how stupid it looks. And sometimes it's my creativity that leads to the problem. That's rare these days, but every once in a while I'll think, well, let me try that angle. And then I look at it and I go, no. I shot one once where I was laying on the bench and I wanted to film up. I wanted to film along my body so that when you were looking at it, hopefully you could see the pectorals actually doing the work. You could see them tightening, coming together, kind of mounding up. Not that I have impressive pectorals yet, but you could see what they were doing. Instead, all I ended up with was a shot of my shorts between my legs. So, yeah, I did not use that shot in the episode in question. Sometimes it's a shot that, although well-intentioned, ends up not being appropriate for a public video series by accident. It's a video series about my physical condition, improving my physical condition, so I want to get a shot of a muscle group or a part of the body that you don't normally focus on, and I think I've got it discreetly cropped, or I've got the angle in the mirror just right so that everything's fine. And then when I load it to the computer, I see that, no, I made a mistake. The camera was too high or tilted wrong, and I can't put that in a public series. And so I throw that shot out. Sometimes at the time, I'm feeling a sense of confidence, bravery, maybe even daring, I guess might be the word. Because, after losing 60 or 70 pounds of excess and feeling so much better about myself, there came with it a level of confidence. And then, I get the camera, I get the footage home, and I put it on the computer, and yeah, it's like, now the confidence is gone, and I rethink it, and I go, that just, it felt kind of, there was a rush in creating that shot in the moment, but let's not show that to the world. And if it actually gets through that filter, I have one more filter, and that's my wife. Very rarely has she ever had to say, Brian, that's a step too far. Very rarely has my bravado gotten by me to her. And then what I do is I take, any one workout. The tonight's bench press workout will become actually one file on my computer.